Thank you for coming to our annual meeting. If you haven't had the required training yet, I'm still allowed to show it sometime between now and December 1st. I have to have everybody's name in by December 1st to make the federal permit. It's called the LIA, List of Authorized Individuals. It's what the federal government keeps to say these people are authorized to handle sea turtles. So I'm trying to follow the rules, and if you haven't had your training yet, let me know when you're available. Okay. So this meeting, we talk about things that are specific to our mid-coast. Let me first introduce myself. I'm Bridget Berger. I'm the coordinator of the Mid-Coast Mid-Coast Master. What hat do I have on? The Mid-Coast Sea Turtle Rescue. And Alan, you want to come up here? Our program is a program under San Antonio Bay Partnership. And Alan is the chairman of San Antonio. Can you stand over here so that people online can see you? So he's going to talk to you just about San Antonio Bay Partnership.
Sure, very shortly. We just finished a major event. We had the shoreline cleanup.
Tell him.
There was the week of September the 23rd to the 28th, 4 different events. We picked up 22,000 items and logged into a marine database. The most significant thing to me was we picked up 8,400 plastic drink bottles. And I think a lot of them are blowing off our boats. So we're asking people to secure them on your boats. Better yet, don't take them on the boat because they're hard to stay on. Our next scheduled event is the crab trap cleanup. It's starts the third Friday in February for 10 days. Last year we picked up 900 traps in the 3 bay systems. And I don't think there'll be as many this year. There doesn't seem to be as many traps in the water. The crappers must be having a poor year, but you'll get a newsletter in several days that gives you the full results of the cleanup, asks you to save the dates for the crab trap effort, and that's the next scheduled event that we have, unless y'all have a cold stunning event. Any questions about the partnership or those activities? Okay, thank you. Look forward to you helping us on those as well.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I kind of put him on the spot there. What are wives for? Okay. So I have to mention Texas Master Naturalist program just briefly. The Texas Master Naturalist is a volunteer core group of, and it's a program co-sponsored and co-run by Texas Parks and Wildlife and Texas AgriLife Extension. There are 49 chapters across the state, and we are trained. There's a training program for each chapter that train you about the ecosystems in our chapter. Our chapter is 8 counties wide. So all the way from Matagorda County, all the way down to San Patricio and inland, Goliad, Jackson, Victoria, all of these counties are in our chapter. We do volunteer work that's centered around the environment. So we do education programs. The Sea Turtle Rescue Program is a resource management type of thing. We do pollinator gardens. We do all kinds of stuff. So if you're interested in the program or becoming a master naturalist, let me know and we can get you some information about the next training program. I want to thank our many participating organizations that's participating here in the Mid-Coast. We greatly appreciate all of the volunteers who come from these organizations. And tonight I want to in particular thank 3 master naturalists who are here. Denise and Rusty Crane, and my husband Alan, and they all helped me put this meeting on together. Oh, and Bobby's here too. Who else? Any other master naturalists? David. Yes. So see how we are all over the place. We are getting more and more master naturalists right here in Calhoun County. So we're so excited about that. Okay, so this is how we started. Winter Storm Uri killed 557 dead turtles because there was no sea turtle rescue program here. We stepped in, we developed this program, and we filled that big gap. That's a pretty big gap of these 3 bay systems. So our territory is Matagorda Bay, Espiritu Santo Bay, and San Antonio Bay. East Matagorda Bay is a shared responsibility. Karen Utley with Coastal Fisheries up there, she has been organizing an effort, she and Leslie Hartman, for many, many years. So they take the lead on that, but our volunteers, I've got some folks online from Sargent and Matagorda, and they do volunteer through us, and they assist up there as well. So that's our territory, the Mid-Coast. What do? We do search, rescue, and transport. We don't do any rehab. We get them to a rehab center. Now, all of the sea turtle rescue programs are under the Sea Turtle Stranding and Salvage Network, and that is a NOAA program. Every coastal state has a state coordinator, and that is Dr. Donna Shaver. She's the one that you heard on the training. She did the introduction part, and she has dedicated her life, 40 years, to sea turtles, in particular the nesting Kemp's Ridley, as well as the strandings. So she is an icon in our community, and I send all the data to her. She takes all the stuff that I collect with the STSSNs and all of that. She gets all of that, and she reports it to NOAA, to the national database. So what happens in a cold stunning event? There is Dr. Philippe Tussaud. He's down in Corpus Christi, Texas A&M, and he does this modeling. He watches the temperatures in the bays, and in particular, he's been focused on the Laguna Madre. If the air temperatures and the water temperatures predict, and we've got a cold front coming, that he can predict if a cold stunning event will occur, meaning that the water temperature is below 50 or 46.4 and sustained for 24 hours, then those turtles become cold stunned. They become lethargic, and just like you heard in the other training. So I won't go over that. But here's what's exciting about this modeling. Last December, Dr. Tussaud came with some graduate students. You notice who's in the water? The graduate student, right? And this was December, it was cold. And we put out temperature monitors, 7 of them throughout our bay. And they collected data all throughout the winter. And he's going to be using that data to make a model to predict for our bay, because as you fishermen know, every bay is different. Our bay is the best for fishing, everybody knows that, but cold stunning, we don't really know. They haven't never done any models, and every bay is different. The other exciting thing, so they collected the data, they came back in August, and they picked them up, the ones that weren't working. Just yesterday, Dr. Tussaud came back, and with this fellow, Robert Hardy, and he's from NOAA itself. He's with the fisheries in NOAA, and they put this real-time temperature monitor in the water. And so I'm going to be able to have access. It's going to be online. You can look at it too. So it's kind of like the Tikkun station, where you can go and you can look at that water temperature. And so this is where it's located, is kind of outside of the state dock there over on the Matagorda Island. So it's just outside of there. Then those other monitors, the 2 that are still working and collecting data, we just left them out there. They kind of came to the end of their life. He wasn't really expecting them to still be working. So these kind of things that they put out there are kind of temporary, but these 2 are still working, so we can go out and collect more data from them. Yeah.
So also uses that model. If fish killed, fish broken, use the same as broadcast management. Like you need to shut down coastal canal, this molly does all that stuff. You know, watch online.
Yeah, there's a lot of applications. I'm just telling you about what's pertinent to me. Okay, so I look at these Tikkun stations that are out there, but you can see right in the center there, our Tikkun station is located at the end of the jetty. And it is in direct line with Pascavayu. Does that reflect the bays? Heck no. I can watch that thing. The tide comes in, the temperature goes up. The tide goes out, the temperature goes down. So that's why I'm so excited to have a more realistic data about our shallow bay system. That they put that monitor, how many feet was 8 or 9 feet of water? 9 foot of water, which is a lot different than being out there at the jetty, right? So we're real excited about that. Okay, so when there's a cold stunning event predicted, looks like the temperature is going to go down, the water temperature is going to go down and stay down. What I do is I text you guys, and I have this little app called Send Hype. So when I text you and say, hey, are you going to be available in the next couple days to go out and search and rescue for turtles? You can text me back without any fear that anybody else is going to see it. So I send it out to you, but only your response comes back to me. So that's nice, because I don't know about you, but when I'm on a group text, and I don't care, you know, get me off of here. So that's how this works. It's kind of a nice technology. So when you say, yes, I'm available, I say, where are you going to go? Because we have our high priority areas, right? It is the back of Matagorda Island, but it's also floating turtles on the way. Why the back of Matagorda Island? This is Texas Parks and Wildlife Seagrass Viewer, and it shows you where the seagrass beds are. So the green sea turtles are there eating the seagrass, and the north wind pushes them up on those shorelines. So that's where you're going to look for turtles. You are going to look in the water as you travel, because they'll be in different stages of stunning. They may still be putting their heads up trying to breathe, but they're being pushed because they can't propel themselves. So you're going to really search for that. Winter Storm Uri, these bubbles are in proportion to how many turtles were found in that area. So you can tell we found a lot of turtles on the backside of Matagorda Island. Now, this was our first cold stunning event in 2022. That's in the way, isn't it? Put him over here. And so that was our first effort, and we did great. We had 10 boats out. We found 16 turtles, two dead turtles. Then in December of 2022, Winter Storm Elliott, we recovered 111 turtles and 19 boats went out. So I consider success when we have boats go out, as many as possible to cover those high priority areas. And it's not just one day. These cold stunning events have lasted longer than a day. So that one, the first one that we had, I kind of feel bad, like we should have maybe sent more boats out the next day, but I was new to this and I didn't know. So this past winter in January, we sent boats out for a whole week. Now the weather cratered and then it came back. So we had like a day or so where people couldn't get out. But then following that, we sent boats out and we still found turtles for like a week. So this is teaching us. So 218 turtles is great. We've now not all of them lived. You can see I'm beginning to be a little more savvy about I wish I could just get rid of this. Go back. So you can see the survival rate there. How many survived in the green and how many died in the blue. Now, 39 were unknown. So you say, oh gosh, that's a lot that are dead, but we're supposed to pick them up. If we don't know, if they don't look dead, like they haven't been predated or you know, crushed by a boat or something, you pick them up and you bring them in. We got to give them the chance to survive. And so now the unknowns are not because of our fault. It's they had hundreds of turtles come in. They went down to the Ark, and then they got transferred to either the State Aquarium or to the Texas Sea Life Center. Their jobs when they have, it's like an ER trauma. They're saving the patient's life. They don't care about keeping records necessarily. That's a secondary thing. So some of these records, it was not recorded what happened to these turtles. So unfortunately, that's the best data I have about survival, but I know the questions to ask now. And if they don't record it, I can't do anything about it. But okay, so when you head out, you say, hey, I'm available. Okay, when you get ready to head out, I want to know that you're going out and who's out and where you're going. So text me, give me a heads up. So you're going to search for floating turtles, right, on your way out to your area. And this is a great video. This is a floating turtle, and this young man picks him up and pulls him into the boat. Okay. Good job. Now, oops, we got another person here. Okay, you want to walk the shorelines. So a lot of times that tide is out and you can't see those turtles. Now it messed up my thing here. So can you see the turtle there? It's hard. It's hard to see them from the boat. That's why we encourage people to get out and walk. So the boat captain stays with the boat and the crew goes out and walks. And there's the turtle there. You can't always see them from the boat. Here's a turtle here. Oops. Right, that lump. So if you're questioning there's a lump out there, go check them out. Yeah, is there a question online? If you're not asking a question online, could you mute yourself? That helps. Thanks. Okay, so important. Carry them by the shell, not the flippers. Carry them with the head down to drain the water out. They're just like us. They breathe air. If they've been floating in that water or sitting in the water and they're too cold stunned to lift their head up, they may have water in their throat, and then they can aspirate just like we can, and they can drown. So hold them with the head down, and that'll help. Boogie boards are very helpful. I have a bunch of boogie boards at home that we just found out on the beach. And so when we have a cold stunning event, I'm doing things a little different this year. Instead of giving all the boat captains these bags of supplies, I'm going to wait until we have a cold stunning event and distribute them at that time, because they get lost, right? Even Alan misplaces, it's like, okay, where is it? When that cold stunning event, where did I put it? So I think we're going to try this model now. So when we have a cold stunning event, and if you're available, then I'll give you these supplies. So I'll give you a boogie board and all the things that you need. So another thing is put them in your boat facing the back, because that will have a natural elevation and help drain. Another thing they've asked us to pay more attention to is, these turtles are used to being in the water, right? In the soft water and not scratching their plaster on. So when you put them in the boat, I'm going to try to ask the service club if I can't have some of those towels that they get for the garage sale and donate those to us. And I can hand some of those out, and you can put the towels. I have a bunch of carpet too, spare carpet, but they want us, like, don't drag the turtle across your boat, and just try to protect the plastron a little more. So now labeling the turtle, let's just go over this. Okay, who remembers how to label STSSN? What's the first part? Tony, come on. You labeled a ton of them last January. You remember? Okay, I'll tell you. So the first part of it is the date. 4-digit year, 2-digit month, 2-digit day. Okay? Then your 3-digit initials. That's why I'm asking people to give me your 3-digit initials so I can recognize you better when I see it documented. And then the number of the turtle that you have picked up that day. So this is your first turtle, it's 01, second turtle 02, third turtle, I don't know where to put those online people. How about up there? Okay, so 02, 03, okay, okay, so now here's a new thing this year. This year, they have asked us to use these paint pens. Okay, you have to shake it. There's paint in there. You got to shake it up. And then it's kind of got a springy thing on it. And you got to pump the paint to the tip. And then you're going to write that STSSN number on that turtle. Now, I hope so. They use it in other places. So, but what we thought of, my best friend Patty, who's online, ever the nurse, she said, well, aren't you gonna have like all kinds of gunk on the turtle and it's wet? That's why we got these cool towels. And I had them embroidered with our logo. And she said, well, what about the FP turtles? You don't want to contaminate those FP turtles. So we have the red towels with FP, right? So you keep the red towel for and wiping the FP turtles, and you keep the green towel for good turtles, okay? And then you write on the turtle shell. You're also going to use your wristbands. In your kits are going to be wristbands. So you're going to use the wristband, put the STSSN number there, okay? So that's change number 1 this year, is the paint pens and the towels.
Still gonna be a risk.
Yes, we're just adding on one extra step again, as if you're not doing enough in the cold. But I think I've made it a little bit easier, and I'll tell you why. Okay, there's your flagging, there's your FP towel, and you can write FP on the turtle. You're gonna put the flagging tape on that turtle too, so everybody, when he's transported, knows this turtle has FP. Because the last thing we want to do is give FP to the healthy turtles, okay? And we had a good number of them last year. Okay, so this is kind of just to remind you, handling the FP turtles, you wear gloves not to protect yourself. You're not going to get it, but you can spread it to other turtles. So if there's just one of you on the boat, the boat captain and the crew, you'll want to handle the FP turtles with gloves. Try to put them separate. I know they move around, but you do the best you can. And then take your gloves off to handle the other turtles. Okay, here's change number 2. Instead of that Solocator app that we used last year to document the GPS, for those of you who are new, the process last year was there was a phone app called Solocator. It captured the GPS right on the photo, and everybody took a photo of the turtle with the STSSN number and texted it to me. Well, we have an app thanks to Matagorda Bay Mitigation Trust money. We got a grant, and some of the supplies are coming from that and this app development. And we are going to use this app to take that picture. And it's going to send me that picture automatically to a dashboard. You don't have to text it to me. So I'm going to show you how this works. So the app is called Survey 123. And I'm not going to give you the sign on yet because we're still working the bugs out. I don't want everybody in there and then they call me and say it's not working. I know it's still hiccuping. So can everybody online see the My Sea Turtle app?
Yeah, we can see it.
Thank you very much. Let's see. There, that way you guys can see. Okay, so when you do sign in, I will provide you instructions with how to get to this app inside of that program. So here's how simple it will be. You see that button says collect? You hit that. Then you hit the camera icon and you will take a picture. Oop. And then you say whether or not it is alive and moving, dead, predated, you're not sure, or it's an old dead, you know, like it's been out there for quite some time, because that happens too. So let's just say this guy's alive, and then you scroll down. This is where you put your 3 initials. So, and then your number of turtle that day. So this is my, actually I was practicing, so this is my second, and then it captures the time and the date. Say done, and if you need to move the location, you see down at the bottom there, it says those are the coordinates. But if you need to move that for whatever reason, you can open up that map and you just move that around, and you see, you can say, oh, this is where I found it. And then the check mark at the bottom captures that, and you've moved that, and then you do an extra check mark and you say, send now. Now, if that's not working, it will go to a thing, it'll pop up there and say outbox, like it didn't make it out, just like your email. So it'll put that in there and you'll know it. Now I want to show you any questions about that. Yes,
Is that the same person?
as long as the phone and the turtle match. Yeah, now, if you have a nice crew on your boat, I think Alan King goes out with you, right? And so if Janelle, you're doing some turtles and Alan's doing some, and you want to put them under your own names, that's fine. Just as long as it's consistent, you know, so we have a turtle and we have a record. Generally it's 1 person per boat, you know, that way at the end of the day, and you count 25 turtles, they're all under 1 person's name. It's just simpler. Yes, Alan. Oh. Close enough. That's close enough. Yeah, because you know, you drag your phone out there to the shoreline and you might be like me and drop it. Yes, sir.
Is there a, does it show where the pictures you sent, or does it show a continuation?
See,
So you wanna
okay,
keep track
see
of
that under sent? See under sent there? I can go back and these are the ones I've done. Is this one today? Yeah, so look, you can go back and here you can either view it. So that's the one I just did, or that's just viewing it. But if, let's say you want to change it, edit and resend and say, oh no, number 2 was actually dead. You know, you can update it and then you hit the check mark again, and then you can send it now again. If you have poor connectivity or something and you want it, there was a command in there that says, you know, save it or whatever that command. Let's see, I forgot what it said. Let's see, I'm going to say unsure. Save to outbox. See the last one? If there's some problem where you're not, if you want to save it to your outbox and wait till you get to Wi-Fi or whatever, you can do that. Yes, Mindy. Okay, let me clarify.
Hey,
The Cold Stun.
Bridget,
Yes.
can you repeat the questions? We
Oh,
can't hear them.
thank you. Thank you, Donna. I will. Thank you. I forgot. Mindy was asking about the several photos that we take, but I have to clarify. We only need, on live Cold Stun turtles, we only need to take 1 photo with that STSSN number on the turtle. If you have a dead turtle, we're not bringing in deads. We want to do a series of photos, and I have some slides to show you in just a minute. So, and then, you know, of course, you take your photos. This will count as an STSSN. So you have to remember that, because you don't have to label that dead turtle. You don't have to use a wristband, but you do have to log it. So like you find 5 lives and you find a dead. Oh, number 6 is dead. So you take your series of photos, the top, the bottom, the side, any kind of injuries or lesions or whatever. You take all those photos with the app, And that's number 6. Then you got to remember the next live one is number 7. Okay, and yeah, that answer your question?
Does this take the place of the stranding report? Does this now?
No. Good question. I wish, and maybe in the future, but if it's a dead turtle, that's why we have the clipboards and we have the forms. So you still have to do a complete form for the deads. What Alan likes to do is he'll take the measurements of the dead, and I don't know, how did you record that? Because I know that one time you had a whole bunch of deads and then we filled out the forms when you got home. Okay, so your clipboard will have a number of forms on it. You can just write in those measurements and put the little number of the turtle up at the top, and then you can, submit those forms later. But those are for deads, bad deads. Okay, online, any questions? Okay, so I'm going to say send now. Okay, and now I want to show you what I see. This is why you're doing this. So when I log into the website for Survey 123, this is the data that I see. Oh, let me refresh and it'll pop in that one I just did, I think. So I actually see a map. It maps it for me, and I see everything you enter. Okay, so here's the one that I just did. And see, and like I said, it's not working 100%. That STSSN number is not popping in that field. So we're still working out the bugs. But it's in this field. Okay, so they just have a duplicate column there. But it's not really ready for prime time, but some more testing and tweaking. So that's why you're doing it. And then I download this and I send it to the rehab. And so they have the turtle, they have the records, they have the GPS. We have lots of good data. So still we want the photo with the whole turtle in there and your hand and that STSSN number. Now, if the paint pen is, you can capture the STSSN that way, or last year we were holding that wristband over, I just need the number to show. So whatever method. Oh, and there's the dashboard. I took a screenshot of it. So if in doubt, bring it in. But the way you tell a dead is if, no eye response, that's not always reliable. But if it's decomposing, if it's rigor mortis, if it's mutilated, predated, then it's likely dead. Okay. Now, you'll want to get those measurements, and the 3 measurements are notch to tip, notch to notch, and width. And you'll have a tape measure in there. I have one set of calipers if you want to see what they look like over there. They're on the table. And then after you've taken your series of photos, which include in situ, where did you find them? Above ventral it's plastron. You may have to wash it off. Each side of its head, especially lesions or any abnormalities that you find. So they can tell. Now, often the cold stuns, it's pretty obvious that it's a cold stunning event. So, but this also pertains to if we have stranding turtles throughout the summer. So, okay. And then before you leave it, you're going to want to put a big X on it, red spray paint, so other volunteers don't find it and redocument it. And then you can move it up into the grass so nobody sees it on the shoreline there, right? And I don't know if you probably don't have time to bury it, and it's okay. Just put it up inside the grass or in the mangroves or whatever. Okay, so you're gonna keep in contact with me. because we're just piloting this and I'll be watching that dashboard, I do want you to text me when you find your first turtle so that I know turtles are being found. And if if the app's not working, if it's not transmitting, I would never know unless you're texting me. And then if you're having issues with Survey 123, let me know that too. And then also your plan. Like you got a boat full and you're coming in, or I'm going to be coming in an hour, and make sure you tell me where you're coming into. People don't always come into where they leave. Like they may leave from a private dock, but most of our turtles are taken to Texas Parks and Wildlife. Some of you are out of Lane Road and you're taking them there. Some of you are out of Seadrift and you take them there. And some are down Matagorda. These are our areas. So our folks up in Matagorda, all their turtles go to Galveston. And like I said, I don't know, did I say this to you? Karen Utley with Texas Parks and Wildlife, she coordinates generally just a one-day effort. And then our volunteers are coordinated by me. We do go out because it is a multi-day event. Then the Port O'Connor area, we bring them into Texas Parks and Wildlife. If you're out of Lane Road or Seadrift, you can take them into there, but I need to know because I need to coordinate ground transportation to come pick those turtles up. Okay, so if you don't know, here's where Texas Parks and Wildlife is at 16th Street. Charlie's Bait Camp at near Lane Road, off of Lane Road. Seadrift has Swan Point or the marina. Some people leave out either one, but I need to know where, so I can send a car to get, or a truck or whatever to get your turtles. And then we've got a couple volunteers down in Goose Island that come all the way up to the end of San Antonio Bay there. They love fishing there, and that's where they want to search for turtles. So we send people from our partners, Keep Aransas County Beautiful, who pick up our turtles in Tivoli. So here's some of our volunteers from last year picking up the turtles. Marie B's right there. And Michelle Satterwhite, yeah. And Janelle and Tony and Alan Kane. Now when we get to the dock, sometimes it's a struggle getting that turtle up there. So with that grant money, I've got us some new slings, and they're over on that table there. You can look at them later if you want, but hopefully that will make our job easier getting them out of that boat. We put the turtle in that sling while he's on the boat and we pull him up. Thanks, Rusty. Yeah. So Rusty's showing. So there's two sizes, the smaller and the larger. And that's what aquarium in Florida uses. And I thought that was the best model. I asked our colleagues up and down the Texas coast, and I like that one better. So that's what we got. Okay. Texas Parks and Wildlife, we struggled last year with getting everybody in on time so that we can transport them. You know, these turtles have to go several stages, right? And we don't want the folks at the rehab to stay up all night like we did last year. We had 110 turtles that we took in one day. We filled 2 trailers and 3 cars, and we came in with that haul of turtle at 9 o'clock in the evening. We can't do that to those people. We've got to cut off in the afternoon. And so we may be able to actually keep turtles overnight at Coastal Fisheries. We're still working out the details. That's not their job. So I said, hey, we have volunteers to babysit these turtles if you want. But they are hesitant to not have a staff person there. You know, what am I going to do? Steal stuff? I don't know. But so we may be housing them overnight if we get them in late in the day. So that's a new thing today, this year too. So then we have ground transportation. Thank God for you, because we couldn't haul all these turtles without you. And we put them in our vehicles. And here's some of our folks transporting last year. There's Rusty and Alan and Donna. And we rented a U-Haul last year, which was a brilliant idea. There's Denise. But we basically fill every space we can to get those turtles down there. Now, generally, we only have to go to the Dairy Queen in Tivoli. And that's where Keep Aransas County Beautiful comes up and meets us. There's Reese with some of our turtles there at the Dairy Queen. And they have this gorgeous trailer that they have outfitted. It can hold over 100 turtles, and some of those cabinets, he's got designated ones for FP turtles, designated ones that are clean, even though he cleans them out. And so we fit them into there. And we put the larger ones on the ground. Now, this is new this year. There's a situation in the ARC this year. The UT system is redoing their volunteer system-wide. And so they're not going to be having volunteers from January to March, which is, you know, peak cold stunning season. But so we came up with this idea, since most of our turtles had gone to Texas State Aquarium last year anyway. I mean, they literally processed them, put them on another truck and send them to the State Aquarium. I'm like, why don't we just take them to the State Aquarium this year and not, you know, not overtax you, because they're still taking in turtles from their area. So that's what we've decided to do. Generally, our runners will still only have to take them to Tivoli, but no promises. If we get another 110 turtles in one day, we may have to go, some of us go all the way down to the aquarium. Now, the good news is it's only, only an hour to Corpus, and we don't have to wait for the ferry. So going over to Port Aransas, we had to wait on that ferry. So that's kind of the good news there. Now, the fun part is once those turtles are warmed up, they give us about a day's notice and say, hey, we're going to release them tomorrow. You got any volunteers that want to come help? And so that's pretty fun. So there is the process in the nutshell. Okay. And other times of the year or any time of year, share this number. It's on the stickers that you received, but that is the Sea Turtle hotline for the whole Texas coast. When you dial 3, you get me. So that's our mid-coast section. So please share that. And what else you can do is you can, you know, remove your fishing line, because there's turtles out there getting stuck in fishing line, and you can pick up and prevent litter. So, and replace the plastic. And this is real. Those bottles we found out on, we picked up, what was it, 5,000 bottles off of Matagorda Island in just a 2.5 mile stretch as part of our shorelines cleanup. And yeah, they're eaten by turtles too. So replace your plastic bottles with reusable and reusable bags and the straws.
Sort of picked in work as well in the field. What this is just, that change has been driven because the rehab facilities are losing the turtles, are losing the armband or the tape. So they're trying to address that.
Yes, yes, that's exactly right. Even you don't want to put it on so that it restricts the circulation, but they can flip, you know, they can come off. You know, I mean, those turtles are wet and they're soft and they come off. And so then they don't have any tracking. And yeah, there was wristbands. They were just lying on the floor. You know, those turtles move around in those trucks. So we find these, remember that little tiny turtle you guys found last year? Oh, yeah, that one didn't keep his wristband on, right? Because Patty had a question online. Patty?
When we're using the survey 123 and we're out there collecting all these turtles, it doesn't automatically fill in 1, 2, 3, 4. We have to remember which turtle it is, right?
Yeah, but you know what? You can also, if you forget what number you're on, just go
Right.
back to your sent items
Okay.
and look at the last one you did.
All right.
Okay,
Thank you.
Dennis?
On that app.
Survey 123.
Is there a place, do we designate where this turtle and all that?
Oh, good idea. Great idea. Great idea. So the question was, can we designate that this turtle has FP? You're brilliant. Thank you so much. That's why we pay Dennis so much. Yeah, so I'm going to do that. Yeah, thank you. That's brilliant. Yeah. Okay, anybody else have a question or a great suggestion like that one? No? So all of you people online, we have to get your gifts. Didn't show up, you guys upset? So we have these great gifts, this winter hat and these stickers for you. And I'll keep a list of all the volunteers, and they have little winter flaps. So, and you know, me from Iowa, this is like an Iowa hat, so winter hat. Okay. What else, guys? Trying to get you out of here. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.